If you want all the fame and the glory of tagging on the walls, once you come correct, once you take off the rag and reveal yourself, show who you really are.
It's not about my personal identity, it's about my graffiti name. I don't care about my personal identity, that doesn't matter, you know.
And what do you got to lose? Come on.
Shut up.
Why is that a good answer? Are you a tagger?
I'm a writer, straight up, and that's what I'm gonna clarify. There's a difference between taggers, writers, and graffiti artists, and there's a difference between bombing and scribbling your name on the wall. And he's right about like not showing his personal identity because he's getting his fame on the streets, so he is getting fame, number one. Number two, like, you say like you were in the alley, and then you contradict yourself and say people is like working 20 years for their houses, so like we ain't writing on the house. We writing in the alley where you caught yourself, and then you caught yourself slipping when you said there were gang members running up on you, 16 of them, and you just said there were 4 taggers, so like,
No, the graffiti gang member taggers, there is a difference.
What are you talking about?
Taggers and graffiti artists.
Wait. These people that I was going up against were a gang from Linda Vista. Okay,
I've heard of that.
Okay, the bottom line was they were also tagging and doing graffiti. They were taking other gang members from a different area and they were writing a line through it saying they're going to kill somebody. Now that is a blatant excuse to go out into somebody other area and say they're going to kill somebody or take them out off the face of this earth.
So don't call them taggers then, man.
That is just not right. That's a straight out death threat, and all you guys know that.
If there were gang members here, then you talk to the gang members about that. But then, that is not the case.
Okay, well, maybe you're right. Maybe there's... Okay, there is 2 kinds. There's taggers, and then there's gang taggers.
I would just like to tell you that there's about, right now in 95, there's about 20% of the graffiti world that is down for graffiti, that's down for like doing the artistic work, that respects like most of the things that you're complaining about. And the 80%
you want to do art?
trendy,
go to college,
and the 80, hey, you know what? The 80% that like turned into like people that don't respect. The people that don't respect, that's true. It became into the graffiti art. They're just like gang members. 80% of the graffiti force in 95, like they're not down with the original hip hop. They're not down with the like knowledge of graffiti, but there's 20% that are down, and those are 2 people sitting to your left right now.
All right. You have some people who want to say something out there, right? What do you guys want to say?
Some of the claims about the tagging being mostly by gang members, is that true?
No, that's not true at all. Most of us are just normal people who just go out, paint for other reasons. Some people just want to have fun. Other people do it for fame.
Gabrielle asked me earlier if you're a gang member, are you?
No.
You know what, Belma, though? I'm struck with something that was said here. This was said in the first segment, and we really haven't addressed it. As cool as everybody thinks it is, here you are, Gkae, saying you like to destroy property. I mean, there are people out there who would say, hello, you're destroying other people's property. Why is that okay?
I didn't say I think it was okay, I just said I like to do it.
That's okay.
That's okay? You like to do...
Well, you know what? I've seen stuff where this guy's gone up, and it's like, yeah, that really ugly wall that's like all tagged up, but yeah, he'll go over it, and he'll do something nice, big and bold, and nice. It's going over the crap, to some extent.
Pretty much.
Or else going over like old abandoned buildings. No one cares about that building. Pretty much to me, the graffiti I'm doing makes
But what about, you're talking about, that's not only old abandoned buildings. It's signs, it's schools, it's the streets. It's not just old abandoned buildings.
Public property that we have to pay for is what it is.
Yeah, whatever, man.
You say whatever, Gkae. I think it's interesting. I want to hear about it, but it's not just whatever. Belma, go on.
Yeah, Gabrielle? This is John. He's with LACC, which is LA Conservation
Corps, and I'm also a former writer named Zender. I'm here to kind of like talk a little bit about a lot of people, you got a lot of zeal people on one side saying it's a bunch of, trash it. Then you have writers saying, no, it's a work of art. We have to also clarify that there is a point where one graduates from one to another to another. When I used to write, I was a writer, and I was at Otis Parsons Art Institute. I'm an artist, and I went writing.
Right.
So not tagging. That tagging is brand new. It's a new thing.
But when you started years ago, like in the early 80s,
right.
And you were destroying people's property, how did you reconcile that in your mind?
Back in the 80s, we were trying to come up. When you try to come up, you try to come up with a burner. Same thing as New York. Like Skept was saying, we took abandoned buildings, size of walls that were completely vandalized. We did burners, murals, which you hardly ever see anymore. Maybe K4P.
But it was people's property. How did you reconcile?
They were mostly abandoned property. But we found out later on that these people, as the property owners, would now pay us to do murals
They will even, give us permission. So there isn't no. If you're a piecer, there's no need for you to do it illegal unless you want to do it for the energy, for the impulse of it. And that's a whole different story.
One of the other guys was telling me too that he doesn't even want anybody coming near his neighborhood with this stuff, and that's why he doesn't do it on people's property, only in places like this.
Oh, good. I want to talk to him a little bit later, all right? And we'll talk more about that. But up next, a night of tagging that ended in death. No, we're talking about the war between property owners and graffiti taggers. What did you want to say?
Well, I just wanted to comment on all the shallow-mindedness and ignorance that's going on in this room. Because there's no talk of all the social conditions that first brought it up. And it's kind of reminding me of like how, what's going on with rap music right now.
For you, it's art and it's expression.
It is very much expression, and it is art.
All right, you know what? Sit down, thank you. I want everybody to meet Brett. Brett is a businessman, and he doesn't agree with you. Brett, you have a definite issue towards people who tag and do graffiti. Why?
Well, if an individual owns their own house and they want to paint it purple, that's fine. But when you go around and start painting and tagging other people's buildings, it costs millions of dollars each year to clean that up. In Los Angeles County alone, we're spending $40 million of public money just to clean up the graffiti, and over $110 million in private dollars to clean up the mess called tagging. And tagging, let's get honest, folks, it's nothing more than, it's akin to animals going around marking their territory. It's nothing more than that.
Can I say something? I need to say something. Okay, look how society treats its young nowadays. I mean, we've been the enemy, you know what I mean? What programs is the society giving us, or giving the youth? What programs are they giving? Look at all the budget cuts. I can remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, having to go to the library to do my homework, and it was closed. And it was like a weekday. It was like 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of cuts back. Even youth centers. When we first started doing graffiti, there were youth centers. There were youth centers. There were youth centers where we were able to go.
So is that an excuse?
No, it's not necessarily an excuse. But yet, what other routes or alternatives is there out there?